what is going to happen with Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, before I give my thoughts, I want to get to this Albert Breer first-round draft pick nonsense, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. If this is true, there's a reason why, of course, Garoppolo has not been traded, because he's not worth a first-round draft pick. But let's see what Albert Breer said in terms of the trade cost if they were to let go of Jimmy Garoppolo. As you see the quote on your screen right now, quote, "I was told that, yes, it'd take a first-round pick for the Niners to listen at this point. That is, of course, is subject to change. As it stands right now, I don't think the Niners feel any sort of urgency to move Garoppolo, which makes his market value completely irrelevant in comparison to the Niners' price." I mean, I guess it makes sense as to why he hasn't been traded and why someone like New England had to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo, but a first-round draft pick is not going to happen, which, again, tells us that probably what Kyle Shanahan said a couple of days ago at his press conference is going to be correct. Garoppolo will be the starting quarterback. They will draft somebody at number 3, and they will wait for Garoppolo to either get hurt or stink, and then they'll insert Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, or Zach Wilson into the starting spot, which honestly isn't the worst idea. I think a lot of people kind of get this mixed up that you have to start your first quarterback week 1, which is kind of true in the modern NFL, but you'd much rather him wait a little bit, especially with the intricacy of the Kyle Shanahan offense. Now, before we go ahead and move on, I want you guys' thoughts down below right now. Would you give up a first-round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo? Like, imagine you're the Patriots. Now, I know we want a first-round draft pick if we're San Francisco. Do you think New England's going to give a first-round draft pick for Jimmy Garoppolo? I think absolutely not a chance, but I am curious what you guys think. Let me know down below. Type Y down below for yes. Type N down below for no. Okay, this leads us perfectly into the Chris Sims discussion, which he had on, I think, the Brant podcast a couple of days ago, that he fully predicts, including other people, that Mac Jones is going to be the quarterback at number 3, and that means, therefore, Mac Jones will be the backup quarterback behind Jimmy Garoppolo until, of course, Mac Jones eventually goes ahead and takes over the starting quarterback spot. Here's my thought on Mac Jones. Again, is he a great quarterback? Yes. Was he great last year? Yes. But is he better than some of the other quarterbacks at the top of the draft? No, I really don't think so, which is why I'm very hesitant about spending 3 first-round draft picks to go up to number 3 to take a guy like Mac Jones. Now, Chris Sims, again, here's what he had to say on the Brant podcast a couple of days ago about the Niners, saying, quote, "I think it's Mac Jones. I do. I don't know that, but just knowing my friend, knowing his history, knowing his school of thought to make that type of move, that's the one that makes sense to me. I think within that, Mac Jones is NFL ready right now. I think that's the kind of guy you trade up to number 3 to go ahead and get," end quote. Again, I don't think Mac Jones is going to be some sort of magical bust. I just don't think Mac Jones is the right quarterback for San Francisco. Now, backtracking a little bit, talking about Jimmy Garoppolo and trading him, I think the 49ers need to try really hard to trade Jimmy Garoppolo. And to do that, that means you take away the first-round draft asking price because no one's going to pay that. If he's a second- or third-round draft price right now, I bet the Patriots make a phone call because are they sold on, what is it, Cam Newton at $12 million a year, $10 million a year, whatever it is? No, I don't think so. I know I said earlier it's not the worst thing if you have a guy like Garoppolo starting and then you wait for the future to go ahead and sit a little bit and then you bring in your first-round draft quarterback. But I think you got to go ahead and bring the price down a little bit. Trading him would not only net you draft picks, it free you up a little bit of cap space, and that to me sounds like a pretty darn good deal. Now, let me ask you guys this question down below. Again, we asked a little bit earlier, who would you want the 49ers to go ahead and draft? They're going to take one of these 4. Like 150 billion%, I would bet everything I own, which is not a lot, on the fact they're going to take one of these 4. Let me know which of the 4 you guys want the 49ers to go ahead and draft. Type ZW down below for Zach Wilson, and of course the rest, which you see TL for Trey Lance, JF for Justin Fields, and then MJ down below for Mac Jones. Give me your thoughts right now. Okay, 49er fans, before we go ahead and get into some more quarterback talk, I want to encourage you guys to help out support one of our partners. This one is at Newsbreak. So go ahead and download the Newsbreak app on your phone today, which provides great and relevant local content just at the tip of your finger live whenever you guys want to follow it, whether you're in San Francisco or you're in San Jose, East Bay, South Bay, and Walnut Creek, basically anything, any zip code you can put into this app. And then you go ahead and you get specific articles from specific sources like the San Francisco Chronicle, SF Weekly, the Mercury News, East Bay Times, and more, all in one very convenient news feed. Now, to download the app, all you got to do is go to chatsports.com/49NB. You see that on your screen right now, chatsports.com/49NB. And then you download the app on iPhone or Android. That link will take you right to the Android Play Store, the Google Play Store, of course, the Apple iPhone Store, the App Store, excuse me. Once you download the app, you just search our page, 49ers Report by Chat Sports. You'll see all of our videos, and you just follow us right there for the latest 49ers news and rumors. That way you get all of your relevant news content, including our stuff, at the tip of your with the Newsbreak app. We only have 40 followers on there right now because we're brand new, but let's get to 100 after the show. Go ahead and download the Newsbreak app right now, chatsports.com/49NB. I've been using this the past couple of days. Absolutely love it, and I'm one of the 40 that follow Chat Sports on our 49ers report, which you guys should be doing as well. Okay, let's move over to George Kittle, who was asked specifically about potentially going ahead and having a new quarterback under center in San Francisco. And he was on the Kyle Brandt podcast. I was wrong about that. He was on the Kyle Brandt podcast. Either way, he basically backed Garoppolo as the starting quarterback, which kind of feels a little bit more fire that they're going to keep Garoppolo to be the starter who will then nurture whether he wants a young rookie quarterback that they take at number 3 overall. Now, I don't think this is anything to freak out about, but it is interesting that Kittle is still openly and audibly backing a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo after the Niners made a big trade up to number 3. Here's what Kittle told Kyle Brandt on his podcast, quote, "I trust Kyle and John. They're trying to do whatever they can to make the team better. I get it. It's a competitive sport. We're competing for jobs every single day. I want Jimmy G to be my quarterback. Whatever they do, I can't wait to see what the team looks like in a couple of weeks." And again, in a couple of weeks, that basically means that he's excited to see what draft picks they go ahead and get, including number 3 overall. Here's the problem. I like this quote. I don't mind this quote. He's right. He trusts us. He trusts Kyle and John. But George Kittle doesn't get a say. Right? And I know George Kittle's a superstar, but there is no player currently in the 49ers that gets a say in what San Francisco is going to go ahead and do at number 3 overall. If Kittle came out and said he absolutely does not want a quarterback, and I didn't say that, but he basically hinted he wants to go ahead and keep Garoppolo, and he's, buddies with Jimmy Garoppolo, so it absolutely makes sense. But we fully understand and know they will take a quarterback. It doesn't matter what Kittle says or what I say or what you say. They will draft a quarterback at number 3, and at some point in the future, if everything goes to plan, he will go ahead and be the starting quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers, throwing passes to, wait for it, George Kittle. So, with that being said, let's just get this out of our mind that they are going to not draft a quarterback, or let's get this out of our mind that Garoppolo can't be the leader and then they switch over to a quarterback, because that's exactly what's going to go ahead and happen. Sorry, Josh Rosen. Sorry, Josh Johnson. The odds of both of them staying, one's going to probably be cut. I think Rosen's going to be your practice squad guy because you have a rookie quarterback as the backup. This is your current depth chart. You can just pen in right now, adding another quarterback. Again, I don't think that Kittle's wrong in what he said. I just don't know if we need a bunch of 49er players to audibly be like, yo, Garoppolo's our guy, right after they exactly trade up to number 3 overall, specifically to go ahead and get a quarterback. Okay, before we keep going, make sure you guys are subscribed to the 49ers Report. I'm told we are less than 200 subscribers away from reaching 34,000 of you, which is crazy. So if you are brand new, help the channel out for more free videos. Go ahead and go down below and hit the big red subscribe button, as we have a ton of more stuff coming up here on the channel. Again, we're currently at 33,811 subscribers. And so if you want to be one of the newest ones, go ahead and subscribe down below. All right, 49er fans, you want to hear a really ridiculous take on the 49ers draft? No, not from me. How about from one Grant Cohen, who you guys know, you guys know from SI.com, and he says some ridiculous things. This might be the most ridiculous thing he's ever said. Post the 49ers trading up to number 3 overall, our buddy Grant decided to come out with a great article telling us why the Niners should draft, wait for it, Kyle Pitts. Yes, wow. I mean, what a take right now. As he, of course, is saying that if the first 2 players are quarterbacks, then they should go ahead and take the best player available, and that, of course, is tight end. He would go on to also say that Kyle is the safest draft prospect in the entire class, which to me is absolutely ridiculous. But I wanted to share it with you guys because I think we all can agree that they are not taking Kyle Pitts at all, and it's ridiculous to even say. But let's just go ahead and see what Grant said about drafting Kyle Pitts. I'll throw it up on the screen. Quote, Pitts clearly is the second best prospect in the draft after quarterback Trevor Lawrence. I disagree with that. Who will be the number 1 pick? To put Pitts' skill set in perspective, he could be an elite wide receiver if a team played him there. He's that good. He would go on to say he's the tight end version of Calvin Megatron Johnson, the Hall of Famer, with the number 2 pick in the 2007 draft. Pitts is a sure thing, the kind of player you trade up for, end quote. All right, let's just say it all together, and I'll give you a little hint of what I'm going to say. You'll see it down below me right now. Together, 1, 2, 3. The 49ers are not taking Kyle Pitts. Repeat after me. You guys got it? They're not taking Kyle Pitts, period. Now, I can just simply cite the fact that Kyle Shanahan said they're trading up for a quarterback, and that should be enough to where you don't write a ridiculous drafting Kyle Pitts. But here's the deal. The Niners don't need Kyle Pitts. Look at the Niners roster right now. Just like Google it on ESPN. What's the one position, like literally the one position that they need zero help at? The one position, think about it, think real hard, and bingo, it's tight end. They already have a guy named George Kittle. He's kind of good. Now, I'm not saying Kyle Pitts is going to be trash. I'm saying Kyle Pitts is a big-time risk. If you take a tight end at number 3 overall, and he's anything but the Megatron version, as Grant Cohn said, of the tight end, then he's going to be an absolutely not worth number 3 overall. 3 first-round draft picks is not worth it. I wouldn't trade 3 first-round draft picks for George Kittle. Are tight ends useful in the NFL? Yes. Do good teams have good tight ends? Yes. Do tight ends win Super Bowls? No. The answer is clearly, absolutely, 100% not. I like Kyle Pitts. I would not trade up 3 first-round draft picks, number 3 overall, to take him. And the Niners said they won't do it anyway. So, again, an absolutely ridiculous take. However, let's give credit where credit is due. If you say ridiculous things, you get talked about, and that's what we did on this show. So, technically, I guess he wins in the end from there overall. Okay, be honest here. What do you guys think? 49ers, should they draft Kyle Pitts at 3? What grade would you give it? I would give it a D, honestly. I would give it 100% a D because it wouldn't be terrible. He'd still be good, but obviously not a need for San Francisco. So I would give it a D down below in the comment section right now. All right, quickly, final news story here. Let's go ahead and jump into the expanded regular season. You guys, I'm sure, saw this on Twitter. Of course, San Francisco is going to have an extra game here, Week 17. Or it won't be Week 17. It's just going to be added for an extra Week 17. But they'll be playing a road game against the Bengals. Hey, not a bad extra game there, honestly. It could have been a lot worse overall. Every single NFL team also, and this is not being talked about, will have to play an international game at least once every 8 years. So in the next 8 years, you have to wake up early on a Sunday, even earlier than you already do, to watch the Niners play in London at Wembley Field versus, I don't know, the Jaguars or something like that. Okay, quickly, let's go through the couple of games just for the full slate of players or the teams you got to play against. Obviously, the divisional games, 2, 1 away, 1 home with Arizona, LA, and the Rams. That's simple. The other home games, not too bad. Packers, Vikings, Texans, who plays quarterback there, big question mark. Colts and the Atlanta Falcons. And then your road games are Philadelphia, the Bears, and the Detroit Lions. Good look at the NFC North this year for our 49ers. And then quickly, some of the other road games. They got Tennessee, which will be pretty good. Jacksonville, and not too great. And then, as we mentioned, the extra one, the Cincinnati Bengals, which is a pretty darn good schedule and a pretty easy overall, I would say, extra game the Niners were handed, which every team, of course, got, and every team is going to play somebody different. My record prediction after seeing this, you got to add an extra, is 11-6. You remember, it was going to be 10-6, but of course, with an extra game being thrown in, and knowing it's the Bengals, I give one more win there, so you get to 11 wins overall, right? Now, who really knows? I mean, we don't know what teams are going to be good. Maybe the Bengals are super good with Joe Burrow and Sewell. They're going to draft number 5 overall. I don't know. But I'm going to say right now 11-6 is my vote for the 49er wins and losses. All right, let me get to think. How many wins for the 49ers in 2021? We'll end on this question before we get into our news and rumors. Let me know in the comment section down below